Part 3 of Follow the Arrow. An anonymous hissing sound filled the air. The gas again! Jeff and Dave both helped me as we desperately tried to dislodge the iron bars that were holding us prisoner. We worked together, pushing, pulling, and twisting, until finally it gave way just an inch. Dave grabbed the contraption at the side and started yanking hard. Jeff and I put all of our weight on the bars, and at long last the enormous contraption fell. Dave took a step or two back towards us, but collapsed as the gas overtook him. I was starting to feel faint. Jeff pushed the frame out of the way and climbed out of the hatch. I tried to follow him, but my head was spinning. Suddenly, I saw the huge man spring out from his hiding place. He had a wrench in his hand and clobbered Jeff over the head with it. I was having trouble thinking. Where had I put the gun? I didn't see it. There was no time. I needed air. I pulled myself out of the hatch and inhaled deeply twice. My perceptions were dull because of the gas, and so I did not expect the blow as the man slammed the wrench into my face. I tumbled over and collapsed, my body half in half and half out of the hatch. I felt the gun next to my hand. I must have dropped it in a frenzy to pry the bars loose. I grabbed it and swung my arm upward, shooting wildly into the dark. Then I lost consciousness and felt myself falling down into nothingness. When I awoke, I was being loaded into an ambulance. I grabbed the arm of a paramedic who was lifting me in. My friends, I mumbled. What happened to my friends? The paramedic just gave me a sad look and shook her head. They finished loading me in and slammed the doors. I closed my eyes, too worried to think, and drifted back into unconsciousness. 1 year later, there was a memorial service at my school. I showed up with my girlfriend. I was wearing my best suit, and my hand there was a piece of paper with a speech on it. I walked to the podium and cleared my throat. I said a few words about how I met Dave and what a great guy he was. I told them all how he charged into a room full of potentially deadly gas to help Jeff and me escape from a madman. I went on to mention Officer Stanley Bell, who died that night, leaving behind him a wife and 2 children. My voice sounded funny though, funny through the speakers. The damage to my face was extensive. I had 2 surgeries and there's one more scheduled for the fall. I look okay, but it affected the way I talk. When I was done speaking, I walked over to Dave's family and hugged his mother. She didn't want to let me go. Dave's father patted me on the shoulder as he choked back a sob. I walked back to my seat. After the service, Jeff was waiting on the front step. The blow he took to the head had knocked out the vision of his left eye. He wore dark sunglasses to hide his wandering eye. We didn't say much to each other. I just hugged him and patted him on the back. On the news, the reporters talked about the 37 bodies in canvas sacks that had been accumulating since 1957. They showed the artist's rendering of the killer, based on my description. He's still at large and his identity is still unknown. The police told us the concentration stand had been rigged with the motion sensors that, when set off, would lower the iron bars to capture curious trespassers in a dungeon of death. They said the killer had rigged a silent alarm that would send a signal to his phone when someone entered his trap. I tried to remind myself that I was one of the lucky ones. I was exhausted and went to lay down in my bedroom. My girlfriend followed me a minute later and wrapped her arms around me. She remembered to leave the light on. Nowadays, I always sleep with the light on. And that's the story. That is the story of Follow the Arrows. I might do more videos like this because I'm actually that type of person who likes horror stories. Probably if you guys do. But yeah, this is from scaryforkids.com. They put scary stories here that are quite long. But yeah. So hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.